This episode of Area Code Batavia is brought to you by Bulldog Plumbing Incorporated. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website in the show notes or give them a call at 630-313-9109. This season of Area Code Batavia is brought to you by BEI Real Estate. For over 65 years, BEI has been part of this community, helping local businesses find their place to thrive. They understand what makes Batavia special, offer flexible solutions, and actively give back. Visit their website, beicre.com, and find out how BEI can help you reach your real estate goals. Or call them directly at 630-879-3680.
Everyone who is here cares about what they're doing. They love it.
Yeah.
It's their dream. It's what they want.
Right.
Everyone's here to make their business grow. It's really special.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Area Code Batavia, a podcast about what it means to belong in Batavia, Illinois. I'm Richard Clark, I'm your host. We're doing something a little different this episode. If you are familiar with the Boardwalk Shops, you know that they have become a pretty big deal in Batavia. Every late spring and summer, they start over with a whole new group of Boardwalk Shop owners, new Boardwalk Shops to check out. This year, I really wanted to have a chance to talk to every one of them. Obviously, I couldn't do a full-length interview with all the Boardwalk Shop owners. That would be that would last the entire spring and summer. But I did get a chance to sit down just briefly with every one of them. They were kind enough on opening day to spend time with me talking. And I think I want to say the thing that struck me about these conversations is the phrase that kept coming up was brick and mortar. That was really their aspiration, many of them, if not all of them. The other thing that I noticed was that none of them are from Batavia. They are all from outside of Batavia, which I thought was pretty cool because what this represents is a bunch of sort of new people coming and making Batavia their home in a sense. Whether they plan to move here or not is a different question, but their businesses, at least for the time being, are here in Batavia. And many of them, you'll notice, are aspiring to sort of find a brick and mortar space here in Batavia. I think the coolest thing about talking to all of them was just the opportunity to talk to a bunch of people about their hopes and dreams, their ambitions, the things that they are aspiring to. That is the kind of thing I love to do, and I just found it really inspiring for myself to hear a bunch of people sort of be willing to say, and this is a vulnerable thing, to say, this is what I hope to do. This is what I hope to accomplish. And the cool thing is that the Boardwalk Shops represent an opportunity for them to sort of go for it, to take a risk without it being too risky, take a smart risk and to sort of make a bet on themselves and to sort of hustle in a way that makes sense to accomplish something they've always wanted to do. So as you listen to these conversations, I hope you can gain from that, so both like I did, some inspiration. Obviously, I hope you'll become interested in checking out these Boardwalk Shops. I would very much recommend checking them out. They are beautiful, first of all. They're really interesting to just browse around and look around, but there are also some really good, some very affordable, some really quality stuff in there to check out. I would highly recommend that. I wish I had more time to talk to them about some of the deeper stuff that I would get into in a normal interview, but I was grateful to sort of get a brief time with them to talk about these things. All right, here's the interview. We're starting with Beth and Kristen, who are in charge of Main Street Batavia and ultimately in charge of the Boardwalk Shops. They're the people who made this happen. You'll hear from them first, and then you'll hear from a series of Boardwalk Shop owners about why they're doing what they're doing and what they hope to accomplish in the future. Here we go. Say your names and what you do.
I'm Beth Walker, and I'm the Executive Director of Batavia Main Street.
I'm Kristen Dessler, and I'm the Assistant Director at Batavia Main Street.
Awesome. I'd like you both to tell me about this space and what it means to you.
To me, the Boardwalk Shops represent Batavia's community spirit and the willingness to support and uplift small business owners from like the true start. I think that the sense of community is really palpable here. And I just love that we're able to give entrepreneurs the opportunity to get a taste for having a brick and mortar business, but that the community then is able to come and really uplift them to the point where they're ready to get into a real brick and mortar and continue to support them once they're there.
Well, I love that it's such a unique space. It's not like anything else that we have in the surrounding area. So it's something that I think that Batavians feel really proud of, that it's in their community.
Yes.
Every year, how they come out and support the different businesses is so impressive. I feel like the community feels like they're part of their progress because they're starting at such a base level. And to watch how they grow here, and then when they do go into a brick and mortar, how the community continues to support them, but how they give back and they try and support the Boardwalk Shops. I think it's just created such a feeling of community and collaboration.
Yeah, which is the theme in Batavia, I think, which is this idea of people collaborating, even competitors, quote unquote, competitors really are collaborators here in Batavia. You mentioned that word pride. That's an interesting word, and I hear it a lot. Batavians have pride in their town. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think that being maybe not Geneva, which is totally a fine thing, but it just like having that
Batavia, also known as not Geneva.
Yeah. But we have like that pride of having that like unique something. Like everybody wants a unique something that they're special or.
Yeah, I say it all the time, but I feel like Batavia is Geneva and St. Charles's like artsy little sister.
I love
like
that. Yeah.
we have this can-do attitude and this artsy vibe, and we just feel really real to me, like the people, and so I think the Boardwalk Shops kind of exemplify that.
Right.
To you, what does it mean to belong in Batavia?
It's weird. I've been here for so long, but I think I've listened to the podcast, so just that theme of like when you do decide to get involved and be a part of the community, it's so welcoming, and I just feel like I have just this great big extended family because I've gotten to know all these business owners, and I feel comfortable wherever I go. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but I'm proud to be a Batavian. I'm proud to go out and talk about our community and all that we have to offer.
Yeah. And if you want to be a part of Batavia, there's a space for you.
Right. Either whether it's big or small.
Yeah. And I think Beth and I, when we're doing our jobs best, we're able to, give people the opportunity to do that within Main Street or connect them with another organization where, they'll be able to do that too. So there's so many opportunities to get involved downtown.
You mentioned like when you decide you want to be a part of it, you can. I'm curious like what that looks like for both of you. What was the first moment you were like, because for me there was a moment where I was like, I actually want to be a part of this, and it was maybe 2 years after I moved here.
Sure.
I spent a long time just chilling in my house and going and consuming basically before I decided I wanted to be a part, quote unquote, of the community.
Yeah.
What did it look like to you, for you, to do that, to make that step?
Well, for me, I'm kind of a little bit like you. I mean, I worked in Batavia, and then when I had my kids when they were little, I kind of was more of a homebody.
Yeah.
But then I started volunteering at their schools, and then you learn about new opportunities. Like I volunteered at Water Street Studios, or I volunteered at Art in Your Eye that Batavia did, and it just kept building and growing for me. And I took a big risk. I quit my job. I stayed home for 17 years, and I still volunteered in the community, and it's led me to this job, which, I never knew was a thing that could happen, but or that I would ever be involved. I was a very shy person. I don't know. You would never know it now, but getting out and realizing that people are just like you, and they want to know your story, and they want to be involved with you too.
For me, I grew up in Oswego, so not very far from Batavia at all. When my husband and I moved here, we were walking distance from downtown, and there was not a lot to do, not a lot going on. And I was still working in Oswego at the time. So I very much lived kind of that commuter life where I'd drive to work and be there all day and come home, and I wasn't really venturing out very much either, except to maybe walk along the river or something like that occasionally. Sure. So for me, I think after a few years also developed a desire to make a difference in the community where I was living. So I knew I was doing that in Oswego and had done. I was in Parks and Rec at the time.
Nice.
And so I started volunteering with Main Street, and I ran the Artisan Collective with a good friend of mine for several years, and that's how I met Beth. And I had a real synergy moment where, my past career and my new community kind of smacked each other in the face, and I thought, I could do this.
Right.
I can, really make a difference here. And having 2 young kids, it feels really good.
Yeah.
My kids think they own the boardwalk, so.
My name is Stacy, and my shop is called Scout and Gem. My business started as online jewelry boutique, and then when I got involved with the Boardwalk Shops, I decided to add some smaller home decor items like candles, planters, things like that.
What does the space, the Boardwalk Shops, mean to you?
I mean, it's an amazing opportunity. As someone who's new starting up a small business, it's such a great opportunity for exposure. Batavia Main Street, Kristen and Beth, they're so helpful, and it's such a great platform to help give you exposure, allow you to see kind of what it might be like if you did a permanent brick and mortar space. I feel very lucky to have been chosen because I just think it's an experience that is very rare.
What's your relationship to Batavia?
So I actually live in Elgin. My husband and I moved there in 2021, and we would kind of go downtown St. Charles, downtown Geneva to go out. And then we were kind of looking for something else, so we started venturing into Batavia and really liked the farmers markets, the breweries, the restaurants, things like that. So we started spending more time here, and that's how I came to know the Boardwalk Shops.
Oh, cool, yeah. So you found out about the Boardwalk Shops by being a consumer at the Boardwalk Shops, basically.
Yeah, I was like, this is such a cool thing.
Yeah.
And at that point, I hadn't really started my business. I was kind of thinking about what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And then we came through during the holidays last year, and I'm like, as soon as they take applications for next season, I need to apply. And literally they posted it, and probably within an hour I had filled out the application.
What do you hope to find in Batavia?
Well, I mean, I hope to find, which I'm starting to find already, all the other Boardwalk Shop owners and small business owners. It's a community.
Yeah.
So I have found a community of like-minded people in Batavia, entrepreneurs, small business owners. Everybody is so friendly and willing to help. I would like to potentially open a storefront if this, shows me that that's the right move. And because Batavia is so small business friendly, I think it's a great place to potentially do that.
Right. A lot of people have said community in response to that question, which I find interesting. You said like-minded.
Yeah.
What's the like-mindedness? Can you shape that a bit for me?
So creative. Just wanting the freedom of kind of being able to do your own thing, make your own choices.
Yeah.
It's just people who are interested in the same kind of thing. Obviously, each of these shops is very different.
Yeah.
But our personalities all seem very similar, and it's just a place where you feel like you fit in, and there are other people that are willing to help you and knowledgeable about what we're all doing. So
there's something interesting to me about a community of business owners, because I feel like it can feel lonely sometimes, the feelings of competition can come up, and you're gun shy about, collaborating, but that feels like it's less the case here.
Yeah, and I think that Batavia Main Street's done a really good job of having very diverse storefronts.
Yeah, true.
We're all very different in what we sell, but everybody gets along so great. We've been able to share, this is super stressful, ideas for how to set up the stores and things like that. So it is nice to know you're not the only one who's stressed out and needs to start selling to make money and all that other stuff. So.
Yeah. What do you think that you and Scout and Gem, that sounds like 3 different people. What do you think that you and your shop, Scout and Gem?
So I feel like the product that I offer, there are no other shops in this area that sell the type of products that I sell. I mean, there are home decor stores in different places where you can get candles and things like that, but the product that I sell is very different.
Yeah.
I feel like the jewelry part of my business, it's very affordable, high quality, but affordable. A lot of customers today have said, like, wow, your prices are really great, which I like to hear. And part of how I got into this is, like, I have a little bit of a design background, and I used to sell fine jewelry back in the day. And I was kind of like, some of this stuff is, why am I paying this much? This is just so expensive.
Interesting, yeah.
So I spend a lot of time kind of curating what I sell, finding things that I feel like are a good value. There's a lot of samples I've ordered that I'm like, this is not a quality product. I don't feel good about selling it, or it's too expensive. And I'm like, I wouldn't pay this. I'm not going to ask a consumer to pay this.
Yeah.
So quality, affordable, unique merchandise is, kind of what I think I have that's a little bit different.
That's cool to hear, and I think it's good for other people to hear, because, like, when you walk past that shop, it looks fancy. It looks, you know what I mean? It looks like really nice.
Yeah.
And so I think it's helpful for people to understand it's accessible.
It is accessible.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I have items starting at $6 and going up from there. I do have some more expensive home decor pieces, but there really is a price range for everyone.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say? Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, so my name's Rick. I do Big Bear sunglasses, make sunglasses, and donate some of the proceeds to animal shelters.
Tell me about this space, the Boardwalk Shops, and what it means to you.
Oh, this is a phenomenal opportunity. So it was actually an opportunity that I wouldn't have come by if it wasn't for my wife. I ended my relationship with my previous employer last year, and I started the sunglasses full time. And she said, you should definitely try to do the Boardwalk Shop. We'd been here before, and she's a Batavia native, so we knew the area real well. The opportunity to get eyes on what our shops are doing, what our businesses are doing, and the value that they can bring to the community is insane.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous opportunity, and the way it's structured to help us, to get us through, as young business owners that are trying to, come out in the community, it's a phenomenal opportunity.
What's your relationship to Batavia?
So my relationship is mostly through my wife. I grew up in Naperville, so I'm a suburb of the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
But early when we were dating, we spent just a tremendous time in the Tri-Cities. So we're in Batavia, we're in St. Charles, we're in Geneva. My favorite Tusk is one of my favorite.
Tusk Thai, yeah.
It's the best food. It's my wife's favorite restaurant of all time.
Yep.
Her and I have gotten, tattoos together in the downtown area at several of the tattoo shops. We come down here. I've been fishing in the river with her dad. I've been we did the canoe race a couple years ago. We're going to be doing it this year if they're holding it.
Yeah.
It's just a great place to be, and especially in the summertime. You can't ask for a better day out and about.
That's awesome. So where do you live at?
Sugar Grove, about 20 minutes west of here.
What do you hope to find in Batavia?
So Batavia presents the opportunity to kind of try the concept, and I think that's what it is for a lot of us. And, I'm hoping personally that this grows into something that can be kind of a Batavia staple. I'm a small company. I'm trying to get into some prescription eyewear with the sunglasses stuff. So, being a local-based business, having the community component, giving back to the local area shelters that we do, maybe it could be a permanent residency for us here in the future. We'll see.
Yeah, that's cool. What do you hope to bring to Batavia?
Some cool shades, first and foremost.
Yeah.
We're looking to do some events this year, predominantly, again, around helping shelter animals and shelter dogs. Just good, solid products, good, solid cause, man, giving back. That's what we're all about. We're trying to help as many animals as we can. The shop in here is lined with the dogs that my wife has helped over the last decade in shelter work. And that's really what we're hoping to draw eyes and exposure. The look cool, help dogs is kind of the mantra.
Right.
Where it is a good product, and it's a great price, but the giving back, the helping out, the being one with the community and doing the events and stuff, that's really what it's about.
Yeah, I love that.
So hopefully everybody loves it, man.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Hey, not a problem.
My name is Jodi, and I am the owner of Jodi Max Sweets and Treats.
Awesome. And tell me about what this space, the Boardwalk Shops, means to you.
For me, it was a way to bring my candy and treats to the community and kind of bring the community together as a whole. I was here last year, and one of the things that a lot of people were telling the other shop owners is that they were missing a candy shop.
Yeah.
So when I was approached about doing it, I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? This could be a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's really nice. I was one of those people. I don't know if I told anyone, but I was thinking we need the candy shop because we had a few before.
Yeah.
And it was always nice to like. You got to convince your kids to come with you.
Exactly.
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
And this way you can shop in peace. You stop in, get a candy. They
Exactly.
can eat that while you shop at the other
They're
shops.
not like, I want to go.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's good. What is your relationship to Batavia?
2 years ago, I had done like their Winterfest here in Batavia. It was a 3-day event. I think it was in November. So that was kind of my first exposure to Batavia. And I really did love the sense of community and the feel. So then last year when I started doing freeze-dried candy, I applied for the farmers market and got accepted into their artisan collective.
Nice.
And again, everything was run so smoothly, and it was, kind of like seamless. It wasn't difficult. It was really easy. So
Cool.
when they reached out to me, like I said, and my past 2 experiences have been so positive, I thought, yeah, why not?
Yeah, yeah. And you live?
I live in Streamwood.
Streamwood? Okay, cool. What do you hope to find in Batavia?
My community. Because, I love the fact like there's this downtown, like I said, I live in Streamwood, and we don't have anything like that there.
Yeah.
There isn't kind of like a place where, people can come and hang out and get to know their neighbors
Yeah.
and things like that, which this is one of the things that I love about downtown Batavia is that homey friend feeling. Like, people walk down the street. I was walking down the street the other day and someone said hi. I'm like, hi. Walk down the street by my house and nobody even looks at you. So it's just very welcoming. And
What are you spending extra time in Batavia outside of the Boardwalk Shops doing things?
I have a couple of friends here who have shops,
Okay.
and I've stopped by their shops. Mostly, I haven't had too much time to roam thoroughly because I've been trying to get my store prepped and ready.
It's a lot, yeah.
It is. And since I make every single thing that goes into my store, it takes a lot of my time. But like I said, we had some meetings at the, what is it, the Chamber of Commerce maybe? I think that building. And just like I said, walking by, people are like, hi. And I'm like, hi.
Yeah. And
So-
now you're at the Boardwalk Shops, the Batavia can come to you.
Yes,
so you're
exactly.
sort of
exactly.
embedded now.
And it's nice because I am meeting people who are neighbors nearby. Like a lady that just shopped, she's like, oh, I live like 3 houses down. I'm like, perfect, I'll see you all summer.
What do you think Jodi Mac's Sweets and Treats can bring to Batavia?
I feel like freeze-dried candy is such a new and unique thing that I feel like I'm going to bring a huge diverse group from young kids to us Gen Xers, which
Yeah.
is me.
Uh-huh.
And the fact that the candy like I used to eat when I was a child, and like Charleston Chews is a good example. Like we had to throw it in the freezer, smack it on the counter to get it in little pieces. Now you put it in your mouth, it just kind of melts in your mouth. It doesn't ruin your teeth. And so people of all ages can enjoy this candy. The kids love it because, they've gotten used to it, but the adults can love it too now because it's a different take on the candy we grew up on.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Well, great to talk to you.
Thank you.
So my name is Patrick, and my wife is Anissa. We are Neighbors Grid Shop.
Tell me what the Boardwalk Shop means to you.
So originally what we were looking for is obviously an opportunity to see and test the waters of the business. My wife and I have been doing online selling with our clothing for 4 years, and we've seen some traction in that. The Boardwalk Shop is a perfect opportunity not only for the community but for us too to obviously test the waters and see how things are going in a brick and mortar in front of people. Is the community going to respond in a positive way with your products?
Yeah.
But I think it's awesome because it's a fresh start with 10 awesome stores. People look forward to it. It's opening right in the beginning of summer. So I think it's awesome and I think a lot of other cities should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your relationship with Batavia?
So originally we are from South Elgin. So we always come around here. We just walk around the city.
Yeah.
We also go to Geneva nearby. So going between those 2 stores, there's a Thai place right around the corner over here that we've been going to for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And so we Yeah, we just love Batavia, or Batavia in that sense. So,
What's the Thai place you go to?
I don't know the name. I'm
So
really bad with
it's either Tuss Thai or Thai Village?
Thai Village.
Okay.
That's what
so
it is.
I'm glad you said that because we had another vote for Tuss Thai.
Oh.
So now they're both represented.
Yeah, we go to Thai Village. We actually, every time we're working on the shop, we go down over there if it's a late night. Yeah, and then, my wife is Lao, so we like Thai food.
Love it. Awesome. So you live in Elgin now?
South Elgin, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do you hope to find in Batavia?
Well, the opportunity, like I said, through this would be awesome. Just from today alone, it's kind of hard to say like the experience because it's just today, but it seems like right now the community is really supportive of these businesses, and in general, the small businesses that are making up Batavia, downtown Batavia. So hopefully what we get out of this is just a positive response from the city. That way we know that we could be successful in the future with hopefully opening up a brick and mortar.
What do you think that Neighbors Grid has to offer Batavia specifically?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, we sell secondhand, vintage, curated selection of clothing.
Yeah.
So what we used to go into was high-end fashion. Like my wife and I used to love shopping in that sense.
Yeah.
But after the years gone on, you grow up a little bit, you kind of devalue that high-end stuff. And so what we want to say is you can still look awesome with secondhand items, and you don't have to pay that premium price. And 90s vintage, everybody loves it. It's an era that is never going to go away.
Yeah.
What we want to bring to Batavia is that opportunity to sell secondhand goods at an affordable price and look awesome doing it. So,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
So do you think there's something about Batavia where 90s vintage makes a lot of sense?
Well, it's
really
an older
specific,
city.
right?
Yeah, well, in general, people say that 90s isn't vintage or it's a little bit too
They're
young.
in denial.
No, yeah,
I
exactly.
I get it, but
the
they're
rule
in
of thumb
denial.
is 20 in the vintage space, whatever.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So, technically it is. It's over 30 years old.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Batavia has history too. So, in that sense, in terms of products, I think people are going to be receptive to it.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're awesome.
This episode of Area Code Batavia is brought to you by Bulldog Plumbing Incorporated. If you live in the Fox Valley, especially Batavia, you know the problems that hard water can cause. Scaly dishes, dull hair. We've had a bunch of issues with our appliances, and it became a problem. We had to address it. That's where Bulldog Plumbing comes in. They're a family-owned business who understands specifically our local water issues. We actually used them to check out some of the issues we were having in our home. They came in, they looked around, and they gave us sort of an honest appraisal of what we could do, what we experienced. And we experienced no pressure from them to do something we didn't want to do. So we had a really good experience with them. And Douglas and Jamie Sam pride themselves on supporting the local community through their local business. That's the whole reason they're supporting Area Code Batavia. So if you're experiencing issues with hard water and you want to address that, call Bulldog Plumbing today for your free water analysis and personalized solution. Call them at 630-313-9109.
My name is Nick DiCarlo, and my shop is Sin 75 Supply Company. We sell t-shirts, hats, art, vinyl, vintage kind of inspired, very simple graphics that are kind of timeless and somewhat vintage inspired. Big inspiration of like 70s music and that kind of fashion. And but then it's expanded too to have some regional stuff, local sports teams. They're just things that are familiar for people that are from the area.
Yeah. What did the Boardwalk Shops mean to you?
I was a graphic designer in the corporate world for over 20 years, and my position was abruptly eliminated. Had a little bit of crisis of what do I do? And the ironic thing is I wasn't really happy anyway. So it kind of forced me to do something different. I've always been a fan of graphic tees, hats. I've got way too many at home and always had ideas for what I would make. So my wife just kind of gave me that little push to try. So I started small in a local artisan building in downtown Oswego and just had a small booth and just had a little bit of stuff there and found some success. And it kept me busy and it kept me being creative. And apparently, according to my kids and my wife, I was more fun to be around.
Yeah,
I wasn't
interesting.
stressed out. I didn't have those Sunday panic attacks of like, what's my week going to be?
Yep.
You know, working all night on spreadsheets and media presentations that I just really did not care about.
Yeah.
So to be able to do something that I'm passionate about and not have it feel like work is fun. And someone from Batavia was there and tried to get some variety here, and there's a lack of like kind of male aesthetic stuff.
Yeah.
So to have that balance. So we just applied, and everything's just kind of been happening without giving me a lot of time to think about it and realize, like, is that what I want? I just do it, and then it works out, and then we're on to the next bigger thing.
Yeah. So you're thinking about it for the first time right now.
Yeah, so that every once in a while I had this crisis at night going like, what if is this my life now? Am I a t-shirt maker? You know, am I a store owner?
So in some ways, this is like the culmination of your thing, right? Like, does that feel right to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I do love it. It's just I get scared about like, okay, what is this? What does a store owner mean? You know, it's like I just like making cool stuff,
Right.
people seem to like it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a sign.
Well, that's the best way to start it.
Right. So I think as long as I just keep making stuff that I think is fun and cool and different and unique and not something you see at every other shop.
Yeah.
And what's great about this place is it's kind of an incubator. It's low risk.
Yep.
The rent is great. I mean, the space is just the perfect amount of size. They do everything they can to really like support and promote and get people in your door. And I think the rest is really up to you.
Yeah. What is your relationship to Batavia?
I knew very little. We've lived in Oswego since 2016, but I was a work from home guy, so I knew my town. We didn't venture out a ton. We would come here, Geneva, St. Charles, you know, if there was a store or a restaurant. And we're always jealous about the way that those towns operate and how they focus on bringing in things for people to do, for families. So I knew it was a destination. I'm familiar with Batavia from Kiss the Sky. I'm a record guy, and that's like one of my favorite stores in the area. Other than that, I didn't know this existed. So when I first heard about it, I drove by and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I had no idea what the insides looked like, what kind of shops that they were going to have.
Yeah.
So I'm total newbie, you know, it's like, this is all new to me. It's weird, you know, but a good weird. I think a lot of people have ideas for stuff like this, but never really pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people until I kind of got for it. And now it's like, I would just say, you know, it's worth going for. There's ways to try these things out without a big risk. I mean, I'm sure there's several people here that still have full-time jobs, you know, and this is a 3-day thing, and it's not super demanding. And I think it's a great way to just try it out.
Yeah. What do you hope to find in Batavia?
I'm really trying to get to know some of the business owners. I've already met with the owner of the Goat. I'd like to expand beyond just selling T-shirts and hats and build a relationship with some business owners and see if I can help them and do some tie-ins, cross-promotion, work on merch for them.
Yeah.
I think even though I did all this corporate design stuff, my passion's always been in like the graphic tees, the hats, the art. So if I could do that for businesses as well as have my own stuff, I think that would be the perfect mix. And I think down here, there's already been some businesses that are receptive to that. And I think it's a good place for what I want to do.
What do you think Scent 75 can bring to Batavia?
I think just what I sell isn't found very, it's not very common in a lot of these Chicago suburbs. I mean, you know, you go into the city, you'll find shops kind of like mine, but there's a lot of, especially more this direction, there's a lot of crafts, handmade stuff.
What's the reason for that, do you think?
I think it's got more of an urban, younger vibe to it, and these, you know, the suburbs, they're a little slower with getting up to speed like that, but I think I'm already seeing most of the people that have been coming in are like, we need stuff like this, you know, I need, you know, Father's Day, Christmas, I need to buy cool stuff for my husband, like he's into this stuff, you know, they buy it online, but there aren't really like brick and mortar stores that have that stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, thank you.
My name is Laura Alessi, and my shop is Home and Garden Provisions. My store is a little bit of everything. It's Like the name, we do gardening. So I have a lot of unique planters and some planting tools like shovels and gloves, and I carry a lot of pieces that you can serve and entertain with. And then some kitchen utensils. Most of the things that I sell are out of the love of use of it, or just something that sparked joy when I found it. And I'm like, I can't be the only one out there that, can't find these things mainstream in a store. And
Right.
so I gotta like touch and feel everything, and so it's an experience. I want my store to be an experience. I want
Place
it
you
to
can
be,
touch and feel things.
Yeah, and I want it to be like a warm hug. Like we just had a bunch of 4-year-olds come through the
nice.
store,
Yeah.
and I had purposely placed all of my kids' planters on the bottom rows, and I'm like, go for it, kids. And there's like dinosaur
That's rare,
planters.
a place you can let your kids touch things.
Yeah, and everything's replaceable. So. And so my store is just something that, as I said, to spark joy. It's something that hits a lot of different price points. And so, my goal with the Boardwalk is to hopefully move into a permanent brick and mortar. Want to leave my corporate job, which sustains the store financially.
I am curious, like what does this space, the Boardwalk Shops, mean to you?
It gives me an opportunity to connect more to the community and like really have conversations with people and listen to like what they like in the store or what they're looking for. So it kind of, just today, looking at what everybody's buying, then I'll think about, okay, what do I carry in the future based on interest. Although we're on a Mother's Day weekend, so a lot of things have been Mother's Day's gifts. But I just love hearing the comments and in the store, and so I think this Boardwalk is connecting with the community, and that's been fun. And just hearing people's comments about the products that I carry in the store and what they think of them and how they would use it. Or a lot of men are like, "Oh, my wife's gonna love this." And so I am not from this community. And regret that I didn't move here.
What's your relationship to Batavia?
So I actually live in Bartlett, and I have no relationship to here. And I saw that they had this Boardwalk, and I was looking to make a move. I was in a kind of a co-op situation for the last 2.5 years with my store. My store's been open for 4 years, online, in a co-op situation in another town, and now here. And I'm ready to make the move into a brick and mortar. And so I applied on the last day possible. And I didn't have all the required documents, but I'm like, I'm just going to apply anyway.
And under the wire,
And that's how I function. If you walk into my store, you'll see that not everything's priced. I literally just set my POS up. But I work that way, and it works for me. And I think people like the vulnerability when I tell them I'm pure chaos.
For sure.
And so, Beth and Kristen have been absolutely amazing to partner with and work with. Like I'm floored at how this community supports small business. Like I've never seen anything to that magnitude. And so I love that. I love my fellow renters. It's a good group. It's a really good group. I love being here, and the community, the people that live in this community are very supportive of the small businesses and happy to see us here.
What do you hope to find in Batavia?
I think what I'm personally looking to find is the answer for me to move forward with a brick and mortar. That's really it. And then
that's the dream for you.
It is.
Brick and mortar.
It is. It brings me happiness. It's a passion for me. And I don't want to call it a hobby. If it is a hobby, it's a pretty expensive one. So
I know that feeling.
And so sometimes I just sit in the shop and stare at it in awe that I got to this point. And so, I hope to make it bigger.
What do you think you and your shop can bring to Batavia?
Uniqueness. So I shop the other stores. I'm not the only home decor store around. They have some amazing shops here. I shop it. I don't want duplicity in the products that are offered here. So I shop the other shops, and there are some brands that I have that others are carrying that I chose not to even put out on display. And probably not the smartest way to run a business, but I have a heart, and
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what, let them carry that product. I can find something else, and it forces me to like dig deeper and
Yep.
see what's not out there.
Standing out is good for business.
Yeah.
Being unique is good for
Yeah.
business, I think.
Yeah.
So leaning into that makes sense to
and
me.
what's crazy is I'm probably the most competitive person on earth, but I choose what I want to be competitive about,
Yeah.
and I want us all to succeed. And,
Yeah.
and that's the community part that I'm finding here.
How does the competitive part like vibe with what is really, I mean, I think what I've felt as is a theme as I talk to people both today and in past interviews is like a collaborative spirit.
It is.
In Batavia. And it feels like that's, I don't want to make assumptions, but it feels like that's rubbing off on you a little bit, or is it changing the way you think about business?
No, so I've always been in that. My corporate job, I've been customer success.
Mm-hmm.
I work in healthcare tech, and so that is what I've done, is making sure customer gets their value and
Yeah.
is happy with their thing. So that is an innate thing that comes from me.
Yeah.
But then the community just grows it. It just harbors that feeling even more
Yeah.
of, being a team and working together and collaborating and cheering each another on.
Yeah.
And the competitiveness is more internally me, pushing me to do.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not running a race, but it's pushing me to go outside my norms and do something like this that is every weekend for 6 months. And so it's a commitment. And, for someone that has the freedom to do whatever they want on the weekend and then commit to this, it's like,
You're going to need a drive.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am Jennifer Farley, and my shop is called Bewitching Brews. My background is in natural medicine and herbology. I started doing that just by working as a manager of a health food store, and I just kind of got obsessed with learning about anything natural, between vitamins, supplements, mushrooms, herbs. And it just really set off this idea of why isn't there more places to go, especially during COVID. That's when the idea kind of hit me, because nobody could even get to the doctor, of why didn't we have these natural medicinal things in the house for everybody. So
Can you tell me what this space and the Boardwalk Shops means to you?
oh my gosh, it's just an opportunity. I was selling my stuff at King County flea markets a couple times a year, and just had a few followers that were yoga teachers that would come and get their detox tea and their nettle tea from me. And it was really just having a full-time job was really hard to grow the business. So getting involved with Main Street, Batavia Boardwalk, it's a huge opportunity for me. So I'm really appreciative that they came up with this idea, and that the city and Main Street program, is doing this for small businesses.
What is your relationship to Batavia?
Well, I've lived in the Fox Valley area for over 30 years,
Okay.
and in St. Charles, Geneva. I worked in Geneva, and now I'm working here in Batavia. So obviously love the Fox Valley area.
Yeah.
Some of the items I have in here have foxes on them just to represent.
What do you hope to find in Batavia?
Community. I managed a store in Geneva for 5 years, and I have so many friends that I've maintained from that job. And it really is, if you're offering something to the community and you're there and you're talking to people remember you and they come back to you. So definitely community.
What do you think you and your shop can give to Batavia?
A natural health tea and herb and mushroom and tincture, and decor, and a space where they can come and get some natural products. So it means a lot to be able to offer that. And it's easy for me to talk to people when it's about something I'm passionate about. So informing them, teaching them about it.
Do you feel like Batavia is a place that is also passionate about those things?
I think so. I've had great response today on what I'm
Really?
doing here.
Yeah.
So, and people do like to ask questions and talk. And there's so many people that are interested in the things I'm doing and selling, that I think having a safe space for them to ask the questions is kind of important.
It
They're
feels
learning
like, in
something.
particular, a kind of place where people would want to talk about,
Yeah.
as opposed to other places where you just look and you say, "Oh, I'm just looking," and then you just go pick
I
something
had a
up
customer
yourself.
say, "Oh, we need couches in here. You should
Oh,
have
yes,
a
yes.
comfy couch in here for us to talk."
Yeah, I love
Thank
that.
you.
That's cool. All right, I'll turn this off so other people.
Hi, my name is Joe, and I own Home Run Hot Dogs and Lemonade. We've been in business for about 4 years now. We normally just do specialty events, and then 2 years ago we started doing concession stands for a park district in Aurora, and we now do Blackberry Farm concessions and Stewart Park concession stand.
Nice.
And we still do a lot of special events. We do the Kane County Flea Market, and now we're opening in Batavia.
Yeah. What is this space? What does the Boardwalk Shops itself mean to you?
Boardwalk Shop is kind of an experiment for us to see whether we can handle a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
It's been very scary for me to do that since we opened 4 years ago. Plenty of locations available right now.
Yeah.
But not sure that it's the right thing to do. And this is going to be our test for that. It's been a great first morning.
You're having plenty of business is what it feels like.
Business is good this morning.
Just based on the last few hours.
Yes.
Yeah. What is your relationship to Batavia?
I know Batavia. I've lived in the Aurora, Oswego area for a long time.
Did you come here at all for anything?
Yeah. I've come to a couple of the breweries here are really nice.
Okay, yeah.
They're really entertaining, serve good product. I've eaten at a couple of the places since we've been setting up here. The food is good here.
Nice.
What I like is people come out at night here.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That's encouraging as an observation.
Yeah.
You're never sure, where the best location is. Yeah. So I think we found a good one in Batavia.
What do you and Home Run Hot Dogs hope to give to Batavia?
Good product, a fun product.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other hot dog stands that are serving Vienna products here. It's a very special product. It's more expensive than other cheaper hot dogs, but once you taste one, you know the difference. So we like to serve nothing but quality products for the people of Batavia.
So how long have you been running hot dog
4
stands?
years.
4 years? 4 years in this business, but have you done it before?
No.
No?
I retired 10 years ago.
Okay.
COVID came along. I became very bored with not doing anything and not being able to go many places.
Yeah.
I found a hot dog cart at a friend's house, and he gave it to me, and I was going to sit outside of Fox Valley Mall for a couple hours in the afternoons.
Yeah.
And the thing mushroomed on us. I never even got to do that. We did some special events with the Fox Valley Park District, and they really liked our product, offered us some more business, and we've grown ever since. Our sales have more than doubled every year in the 4 years that we've been doing this.
Yeah. What do you like about owning a hot dog stand?
I mean, I like to talk to people. We like serving a quality product.
Yeah.
It's fun business,
Yeah. You use the word fun a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I like
a big
to have
piece
some
of it.
fun. Yeah, it's a big piece of it.
Yeah.
People that work for us are good. We're kind of family owned. I have more than one daughter, and they're all involved.
Nice.
One of them's going to manage the Batavia operation here with Kristen.
Beautiful.
Michelle, and then another daughter runs Blackberry Farm for us, and her husband, Vinny. So it's been a real family thing. I have 7 grandkids, and I think that just about every one of them has worked for me at one time or another in the last 4 years, helping out. So it's been really good.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am Kelly.
Okay.
And my shop is Morbid Momentos. So we are an oddities and occult shop. So I sell lots of taxidermy, bone art, wet specimens, and then I have occult products. So apothecary goods, oils, powders, spell kits, ritual things, and then a handcraft jewelry as well. Copper, electroform jewelry. So you can use bones, organic material, copper, gemstones.
Tell me what the Boardwalk Shops, this space, means to you.
This has been something I've been working towards for a long time. I've vended a lot of markets, expos, things like that, and sold online for years. Getting into this space, which they refer to as an incubator space, to see how well you can grow, how well the community accepts you, I suppose, before you move into a permanent brick and mortar.
Yeah.
It's kind of priceless, you know,
Yeah.
before you have to go through all the hassle of loans and whatnot. You really get to see if you can succeed and how you're accepted. And it's super special because everyone who is here, like, genuinely cares about what they're doing. They love it.
Yeah.
It's their dream. It's what they want.
Right.
Everyone's here to make their business grow.
That's
And
cool.
It's really special.
That framing of acceptance is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Is that important to you, that you're accepted wherever you're going to be?
It's not important to me that I'm accepted.
Okay.
I have such a niche product
Yeah.
and business
Yeah.
that I personally, I love representing and having inclusivity of people who like different things, who might be like, you know, the weirdos like a little bit more macabre stuff.
Right.
So it's important to me, the representation, and that people want it where they are.
Yeah.
You know?
What's your relationship to Batavia?
I don't have any relationship to Batavia.
You just have a Boardwalk Shop here.
I just have a Boardwalk Shop here.
Yeah.
I don't live here.
Yeah. Where do you live?
I live in Sandwich.
Okay.
Currently in
Yeah.
the middle of a cornfield.
Cool.
I do really love it here.
Yeah.
The people and the support. I keep coming to town and trying to go business to business to meet everybody.
Yeah.
I was telling a girl earlier, I keep ending up halfway through at the brewery and then I don't leave there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I haven't made it everywhere I want to go.
But you've been making the rounds as much as you can,
Trying
and also
to.
brewery.
Yes, and also brewery.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you hope to find in Batavia?
A home
Yeah.
in all different kinds of ways. A home for my business.
Yeah.
Where I can move into another space, community. Maybe potentially a home for myself, you know, relocate to wherever my business ends up taking place at. I see Batavia as like a really positive prospect for
Yeah.
a lot of things.
Yeah. What do you think you and your shop have to give Batavia?
I think representation and inclusivity for a whole different group of people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My name is Grace, and the name of my shop is Seapeak Style. I sell primarily graphic apparel, sweatshirts, and t-shirts, and then some women's boutique clothing and accessories.
Cool. And what does the Boardwalk Shops in this space mean to you?
It means a lot. It means the next step for my business, which has been, I started in college out of my apartment. I had literally 5 designs.
Wow.
Seeing it actually come to life here at the Boardwalk and get the opportunity to have this space and share it with the community is a big deal for me, and just really amazing to be able to see it come to life.
What's your relationship to Batavia?
Thus far, I'm from Plainfield, so
Okay.
I'm not from here, but I've had a really good start to the community, and everyone's been super nice and helpful, and I love it so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you hope to find here in Batavia?
I hope to find a way to expand my Seapeak community. Because I say my goal has been to create a community around my business and not just be a shop you come in, but
Yeah.
create a community that just brings everyone happiness. So
Yeah.
my little slogan is where what makes you happy unites us.
Okay.
So I've done
like that.
events for my customers. I did one in March, and it just brought everyone together, and I don't know, community's big for me, so
That's cool because a lot of communities sometimes originate from what doesn't make it make us
Yes,
happy specifically,
right, yeah.
you know? So I like the idea of like we are finding things that we together connect
yes,
with because they make us happy.
Yes, so that's been my goal.
What do you think you and Seapeak Style have to give Batavia?
I want to bring happiness. And I know that I keep saying that, but that truly is. I want you to feel joy when you walk in here. So happiness is my big thing. I want to be able to give happiness to community and joy.
Yeah. Has the reception to that? You've had a few hours now.
Yes.
How's that
every
felt?
time someone walks in here so far, they've been like, it's so bright in here. It's
Yeah.
just a bright, happy pink spot. Everyone can say it's pink and bright, and there's things that people like in here, and it seems like everyone that's coming is smiling, and
Yeah.
it's been super nice.
And the space does that
Yes,
to people. It
which
feels
was my
like.
goal. Was I wanted it to be just you walk in here and it just radiates joy.
listening to Area Code Batavia. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode. If you enjoy this podcast, why not subscribe to our newsletter? Just click the link in the show notes and put in your email address. Not only will we let you know whenever there's a new episode of Area Code Batavia available, but each issue also brings you 5 concrete ways to experience a deeper sense of belonging in the community of Batavia, Illinois. Most importantly, if you know someone who would love to hear this podcast, please share it with them. Word of mouth is the best way to grow this community and help more people feel like they belong in Batavia, Illinois. Area Code Batavia is produced by Area Code Audio. It's hosted and produced by me, Richard Clark, with additional production help from Jennifer Clark.